Hi there and welcome back to my channel Scrap and Coffee. So we are going to start with making this little cutie pie that I called my first love album, because that's what the paper collection was called that I've used. And it's actually a second version of my beginner's mini album that I already done, and I think that was called the Flora No.3 mini album. So the base is exactly the same, the dimensions of the base pages are the same. So it's definitely possible to mix this project and that project. Mix the features up a little bit if you want to. So let's get started. We are going to work on the pages, and I've prepared everything just to keep the video a little bit short, hopefully. So everything is taped up and I've mitered and tapered everything. For the base pages you're going to need 3 pieces that are scored according to the cutting guide that you can find on my website, free PDF download. And I've placed tape on the dented side of these pieces, and we can fold and burnish on those score lines. So this comes together really easy. And if you want to have a more detailed version of how I do this, then you can watch the construction video for the Flora No.3 album, because the base, like I said, is exactly the same. I'm going to keep these pages separated from each other because it's easier while constructing and maybe even decorating, but we are going to determine how we want it. Now for this album you're going to start with the piece with the larger spine. This is page number 1 and page number 6, and then you are going to get your piece with a medium spine, and I've placed that one with the short page first and then the large page on the back. So that's page 2 and 5, and then the one with the small spine, first the larger page, then the small page, and that's page number 3 and 4. Now it's going to be a little confusing here and there because I'm going to remove these pages from each other, so I think it's wise to place them in the order that you want. And I'm just going to really small write down, like this is page number 1, this is page number 2, page number 3, page number 4, 5 and 6, and we can remove that if we need to later on. Now for page number 1, I've cut out that circle where I had the embellishment inside that could spin around, so I'm going to do that later on. We are going to start working on page number 2. So I'm just going to remove the one with the middle spine, the short page. That's where we're going to start. And for that I've prepared all the pieces, and I've started with a large page add-on because I thought that was nice to have a solid background behind the open feature on page number 1. So this you have 1 score line and your tape is on the dented side, and you tapered that ½ inch, and you can fold on that score line. And we have a smaller piece, also 1 score line tape on the dented side, and again you tapered that ½ inch and you can fold towards the bumpy side. Now the larger one, and I'm going to lay this flat with the tape facing me, we are going to attach it, but we are going to stay away about 1/8 of an inch from this score line here. And you really want to do it because otherwise your pages are not going to flip very nice, or you're going to catch onto stuff. So you really want to keep that space. So I'm staying away from that score line, line up the bottom, stick it down there, and then stick that down. And then this one will go on the other side, and you're going to align it with the edge, but you want to make sure that you are staying away from that score line as well a little bit. And I see that I need to cut it down a hair. So depending on how far away you are going to stay from the score line here. So I'm just going to quickly cut off a hair because I want to make sure that everything is folding nicely. So again, open this and make sure that that is going to fit. Now that's way better. Now I also have to see that my vellum pocket is going to fit on here. So that's the downfall. So maybe what you want to do is stick the small one down first and then make sure that you have enough space with sticking the large one down. So you don't have to cut this one down. Because next we have the vellum pocket, and I've placed that on the outside, and you see I am probably getting into trouble a little bit, but we'll see if I can adjust that slightly. I will see. So for this vellum pocket, you have a piece of vellum, and carefully score it in your scoreboard. And I mean, be careful because you can rip it, and it's more of a guideline than you really need to score it really hard. So here on the bottom I have what you also need to take. This is your dented side. It's coming up a little bit. We're going to fold towards the other side, but I'm not placing any tape yet. You have two score lines that are meeting here, and you are going to miter that just like you would do with a normal pocket. And I do the same thing on the other side. And then here I'm going to taper it towards that intersection. So from that bottom part. And then here I'm going to cut on the inside of the score line. I really want to make sure that I cut the score line away. And I'm cutting it a little bit further in even because I need to adjust for the fact that I had to cut down my white cardstock a little bit. And then I'm doing the same thing on this side. So again, I'm cutting on the inside of that score line. There we go. So what I did then is you turn it around and you are going to fold this down, making sure you stay away from all three of the score lines. You want to be in between that, so your score line that you had in the middle is more of a guideline. Carefully burnish that, and then we are going to fold over these pieces, the side pieces. So again, I'm burnishing this, and here I'm going to pull it in a little bit further, hopefully. I might want to cut that in a little bit so I can make that extra bit of fold there. So I'm really trying to pull it up against the middle piece instead of holding on to my score line, but that's because I need to adjust it. Let me try that on here. Yes, that will work. Okay, so now you have an opening here, and you can place some stuff in there like sequins or glitter, whatever you have or like. And then when you have it in there, you can fold this one over, burnish it as well, place your tape, and then we are going to cut a piece of pattern paper to size for the page, and we are going to first attach that behind our 3 flaps before we attach it onto our page here. So I am still in the deciding phase of what paper collection I'm going to use. So with that also I'm not sure on what I want to put in here, and I'm going to leave this for now. So I'm just going to get myself a paper clip later on and hold that in place so I don't lose it. And then when we're decorating, we are going to attach it. So I'm going to place this to the side for now. And then I've also used a magnet here to keep it closed, but you can also use it on this one and keep it all in place like that. So we'll see what we do with it. Then we flip our page number 2 over, and then we are going to place this side pocket there. Now in my original album I've made a punch with my envelope punch board, and I think I'm going to do that again, but I don't want to do exactly the same. Like in my original album I've placed them all nicely centered, and now I'm just going to place them off center. So this is 7 1/4, so normally 3 5/8 would be center. Let's do 2 1/2. Yep, I'm going, so the dented side is facing me, and I'm going for 2 1/2 inches from my left hand side. Just for an offset punch. I think that's fine. I'm going to keep it closed because I need it more. So this pocket again, well, not again because it's the first pocket that we're placing, but tape is on the dented side. On 3 sides you miter those corners, fold and burnish. And there as well. And then I'm going to stick the bottom flap on top of my side flaps. Just like that. I don't know what's there, but it's going to be on the inside. So. Okay, so the back side of page 2, we are going to place this sideways, and again I'm going to stay away about that 1/8 of an inch from my score line here. Although you have your gusset there, but still I just want to make sure that I don't have any catching. I'm turning it around because it's a little bit easier for me. You can also think about, now I've done it on the left hand side, so my punch is towards the bottom of the page. If you want to have it more towards the top of the page, then you have to flip your piece over to the bumpy side. Just lining that up. And then page 2 is done. So get that back in place. Then we go to page 3, so that's the one with the smaller spine, the larger one. So that's why I write it down, because it's getting pretty confusing if you for you if I keep getting it in and out. So again, all my pieces are prepared, and we are going to start with the 2 pieces that measure 6 1/4. 6 1/8, oh yeah, because these are going in this direction, by 4 3/4. Score line on one side, tape on the dented side, and we have tapered the 1/2 inch. So these pieces are exactly the same. One is going on the bottom and one is going on the top. So again, I'm laying it flat where the tape is showing. And we are going to place the first one on the bottom. Doesn't really matter if you do the first one on the bottom or the top, but you are going to start at the cut edge here, and then you will have your spacing towards your score line there. That's what you want. And I'm going to place it sideways because that's just easier for me to attach it. So I'm just placing it here in the corner where my tape backing is still on there, so I'm not sticking anything down. Align the bottom and then remove the rest of that tape backing. And I will do the same thing here, but now for some reason it's easier for me to do it on my left hand side than on my right hand side. So now what I'm doing, again, I'm starting at the bottom here where my tape is still in place, and I'm aligning it with my first piece that I've attached, and then bring it up to the top, fold it in place, and then when we are decorating I will probably use a swing tab there again. I thought that was really fun in this album. So it doesn't really matter in which way you are going to place this, but this is the front side. I'm going to turn it over now, and we are going to work on the inside of that page. Now our first piece is this large piece that has two score lines in the middle, and I've placed tape on the dented side in between those two score lines, and we are going to fold and burnish both score lines. And this is forming a two flap waterfall. So I don't know if you're still allowed to call it a waterfall, but that's what it is. So you're going to fold on it doesn't really matter what score line, but you want to have your tape on top, and this we are going to align with the top edge. And again, we are going to start on the cut edge side. So when we are going towards our score line there, we have that little space. So just fold on that score line. I like to remove that tape backing just a little bit. Again, I'm lining it up here on the bottom corner, along the cut edge here, and then bring it along the cut edge there. Hold it and stick that down and give that a burnish. So now we can fold these two individual from each other, and that's like a waterfall feature. Then we have a flap and a pocket. So tape is on the dented side for both pieces, and on this one I tapered that ½ inch, and for the pocket I've mitered the corners. Now am I going to make a notch in this one? I don't think I did, and I don't think I want to for this pocket, so I'm not gonna do it. You can do it if you want to, of course. And in my original album I've used a corner punch on the flap, but I'm going to decide on that one later. So we are going to place the flap in front of us with the folded edge on the bottom, and we are going to place our pocket on top of that, but again here you want to stay a little bit away from your folded edge. Again, about 1/8 of an inch, so it flips to the bottom without catching onto your page. So this might be a little bit more difficult to keep it all flat and in place. Just place one corner and try to get it straight towards the other side. Line it along the edge and fold it flat. And then this flap will go on the bottom. Again, starting at the cut edge, and then we have that space here between our score line. So I'm lining this flat. You can use your bone folder to keep it where you want it. align it. There we go. And then also on this one, I've used a magnet to keep everything in place. Then for page number 4 on my original album, I didn't do anything here. I just placed a photo mat. I might keep it that way, but I also might add something there later on. I'm not sure yet. And then, oh wait, yeah, page number 4, that's what we're doing. Then for the back side of page number 4, so we are going to turn it over. I've made a stacked pocket, 2 pieces. Again, I'm going to make a little punch in there. And these pieces are 5 1/8. So I like to, a little over 2.5 is the middle. I'm going for 1 7/8 from the left hand side, with the dented side facing up on both pieces. 1 7/8. So the larger one of the two is your bottom pocket. There you have your tape should be on 3 sides on the dented side, and you miter those corners. And for the smaller piece, you only need tape on the 2 side flaps. So like I do often, I wasn't thinking and I've placed my tape on that bottom flap as well, but you don't need it. So first we are going to place this one, and then for this one you're going to cut at a nice angle on the bottom flap and a slight angle on the side flap, or you cut straight on your score line. Both is possible, whatever you prefer, and you only fold on your side flaps and burnish those. So the tape here is not needed. Back side of page 4, and again I'm going to start on the cut edge, working my way towards the score line. It's very important that you have your spacing between those score lines. I cannot say it enough. So I'm starting here in this corner towards the, line it up with the bottom edge. And stick that down. And then the second one we can shove in here and stick that down. All of this will be covered with our pattern paper, so don't worry about it. I'm just leaving that tape there, not even considering removing that. So that's page 4, really easy, but like I said, maybe I'm going to add a little flap here. Maybe one that goes to the top or the bottom or sideways, we'll see. We can still do that. Okay, we can place this back. 1, 2, 3. And page 4, and then we are going to work on page number 5. Now in my original album I had nothing on this side, and I had the 2 flaps on this side with the swing tab, and then a pocket here, and that was catching onto each other a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place the flaps with the swing tab on the inside of page 5. So I'm going to switch that up because I don't want to have that problem in this album. You want to learn from your mistakes, right? So page number 5. These are the 2 flaps. This time they are going in this direction. And if you want to do that on the other page as well, you want to change up the direction, you can, but take in account that when you place something in the length of the page, so in this direction, then you don't need to adjust the measurement. You can go with the measurement of the page. If you want to place it in this direction, you have to cut it down by 1/8 of an inch to make sure that you stay away from that score line. That's all you need to take in account. So what I will do with this one is place the one that's on the side of the score line, again 1/8 of an inch away from that score line, and the other one we can just line up with the edge there. So tape on the dented side, taper that 1/2 inch, placing this where I want it. And here these pieces do overlap, but they are not conflicting with each other. So you can just eyeball that and that won't be an issue. Did I do this wrong? Oh no, there's a page in between. See, it's very confusing. I'm just thinking like, oh, now I have the same problem here with this pocket, but there is a page in between there. So, okay, I'm doing this on my right hand side now, but like I said, that's not easy for me for some reason. Stick that. So now we will make the swing tab over here. And then on the back of page 5, like I said in my original album, I didn't do anything on that part, but I'm thinking about placing a large pocket there. But again, I'm a little bit in doubt. Do I want that? Yeah, let's just do it. So a large pocket there. It's in the cutting guide already, the pocket. It's the same pocket as your front inside cover pocket. So this is 7 1/4. So again 3 and 1/8 is the, what did I do with the other one? 2 1/2. Let's do the same thing, 2 1/2. It doesn't really matter, I just eyeball it a little bit. You can do it nicely centered as well, of course. Or leave it out. So again, when we place this, we are going to start on the cut edge and work our way. Okay, that's not smart, because if I want to place a pocket here, I need to adjust this measurement. So this one will be on my front inside cover, that's okay. So I could place it sideways, but I don't want that because I'm already placing a side pocket on the other page next to it. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it out for now. Let's decide on it later, what we are going to do with it. This will go there. And then we have our page number 6. So on page number 6, I had the side pocket. Again, I'm making a little punch at 2 1/2. And fold and burnish the score lines after you mitered those corners. So now my notch will be more to the top of the page because I'm placing it in the other, facing it in the other direction. See? I'm going to remove all the tape backing, so we are on the bumpy side of our first base page. And I'm going to place it here, again staying away from that score line about 1/8 of an inch. Like that, that's all there is to this side of the page. And on the back side we are going to place a flap. One score line, tape on the dented side, and you taper that. And I was kind of thinking while I was saying it, I think I've placed this in this direction. Yeah, I think I did. Yep, I did. So it flaps like that, yeah. So on the cut edge. And again, I've used a magnet to keep that in place. So stick that down, and then our basic construction is already complete. Easy peasy. So like I said, because this page is going to get that special feature, we're going to work on that next time. I've added here quite a lot of things on this page. On this side I've added quite some stuff on both sides of the page. And then it started to go a little bit down, like I haven't done anything here because I was afraid that would cause too much bulk, but I think I can easily add something here on page number 4. So I'm going to think about that. And then we have this we've placed from the outside of the page towards the inside of the page, which I think is better. And then we don't have anything here, but I think I am going to add something here as well. So probably will be a pocket, but I need to cut that one down by 1/8 of an inch, and we can use this pocket on the front inside cover. So that's fine with me. And then on the back side we have a pocket and a flap, and then we are going to make another vellum pocket for the back inside cover. So we're there. This is the basic construction. So in the next video we will be starting some decorating stuff. And I don't know if I'm going to show you all of the decorating, but at least I'm going to show you the feature that we've done here, and I'm going to show you of course the add-ons that I decided on for the page 4 and page 6. No, page 5. Page 4 and 5. And then I am going to decorate it before I'm going to attach the pages together, because this I really need to work with that one. So that will be, I think it's just easier to decorate it before you assemble everything, so you can lay everything nice and flat. So that's it. If you already want to work on the cover, you can, because it's the same as the Flora No.3 cover with measurements and all that stuff. So you can easily make your cover as well if you want to. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching and enjoy the rest of your day, and hopefully I see you in the next video. Bye bye!